Welcome to Sanctum. You're listening to The 100 Podcast, a show about CW sci-fi series, The 100. I'm Dan, your alpha man, and today I'm joined by my favorite grounder, Olga.
Oh, I'm back to being a grounder.
Oh, I just did that automatically.
Okay,
well.
I'm done. I forget what I was supposed to be.
A one
last
crew
week.
warrior.
Right. I can be whatever you want me to be, baby.
Maybe if we just use your body and put different minds in there. Oh, today we're talking about 604. I believe it's The Face Behind the Glass. Pay no attention to the face behind the glass.
Well, but Jordan couldn't help but pay attention to all those faces trapped behind the glass.
So this is our first reactions podcast that we do directly following the episode. So no notes, no deep analysis, just off the cuff. What do we think about this?
Nothing deep here.
Yes, except I do want to start this podcast out by saying, hey, we got most things right.
We were so right.
This is like the best we've ever been about getting things right.
We're so good. This is definitely what you can expect for the rest of the season, right?
Well,
right, Dan?
I mean, the great thing is that everything we said that was right is all now done with. So we don't know what happens next.
I'm actually pretty happy about that. Yeah. Like, I brought this up to you off camera of, in season 5, everyone was like, yeah, we know. Cannibals. We know. Yeah. Cannibals.
Get to the damn
Get to the cannibals. Here. And then it's like, guys, they were cannibals. And we're like, yeah, okay. So I'm glad this isn't, in the back half of the season.
Yeah, it's interesting. So it was a weird experience watching this episode because we kind of knew what was going to happen. But at the same time, there were definitely worse surprises. I mean, you did call that Killian was going to be child of Gabriel spy. A mole, during the episode, to be clear.
No, I called it right after we saw it happen.
As soon as we met Killian.
But the thing is that was kind of nice where I'm like, oh my God, they said there was a spy. I think he's the spy. And then that's the next scene. Yeah. So they're not even dragging out these mysteries of who could the spies be. I mean, there could be more. But I'm pretty sure that he's like the main one. Spy. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm pretty happy about that.
And that we already got not only did we got confirmation on so many things at the same time, right? Because we got confirmation on that Russell is Ghostfried's dad. We got confirmation on they put brains in minds into people's bodies. Yeah. We got confirmation on them being immortal in that way, and then we even got confirmation on Josephine going into Clark and that actually happening.
And that it's similar to Flame technology. Yeah. It has Becca's good old
Did it actually have the insignia?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. And it's the same color as the chip later on.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a version or styled upon that.
Yeah, slightly different shape, but...
Yeah, so I do think, once again, Maddie will probably be key. No pun intended, because they called chips the key.
Right. I was like, damn, what?
Overall, what did you think of the episode?
I thought it was a good episode.
Yeah.
I'd said in our first reactions trailer,
breakdown,
that I was not a huge fan of this setting of the party scene, just because it felt a little too weird.
Yeah.
I still feel like it was too weird.
Oh, I liked it a lot.
I know I'm in the minority for that, but I mean, it's just one of these things where I'm like, still not fully reconciled on the new world. Yeah.
The big thing was it didn't feel like the 100 to you. It felt too different.
It didn't. And honestly, seeing in the opening where it's this happy do music going on, and everyone's still in their apocalypse gear amongst all these happy party planning people, and I'm just like, what is happening?
Yeah. Well, so it's interesting because part of me is almost a little bit bummed that things did go this fast. They went really fast. To the point where I do kind of wish we got a little bit longer of people just being happy and relaxing in this world and just getting to live. And I liked that it felt, I mean, it's weird because obviously season 1 wasn't exactly relaxed, but they had a home base.
Comparison.
They had a home base. People had moments where they were just spending time together and things like that. So being able to have time where Raven is just working on a bike and Maddie's eating a cookie and
Maddie had her first cookie.
Yeah. To me, that was great. And I actually wish that maybe lasted a little bit longer before everything goes to hell. Now, at the same time, only it's really only gone to hell for Clark, so maybe the other people, they will get a few more episodes of peace or whatever.
Yeah. One thing I think that I am wrong about, or I forget how much you agreed with this, is I don't think that Josephine as Clark as Josephine. What's the correct terminology here?
I mean, Josephine in Clark's body.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I was thinking of a snippy term for it, but that would only be like a few episodes. I feel like it's going to be like 3 probably.
Well, that's the thing that would be weird, is if they go through this so quickly, it's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm consistently on edge because I'm like, okay, so what is like the long-term plan for the season, right?
That I'm at a loss for
because
right now.
A lot of these things feel like when we kept seeing things from like the Red Sun thing, I was like, that looks like a fun one episode, and it was a fun one episode. This thing with Josephine, I'm like, that could be a fun, like you said, maybe 3 episodes. Right? Are we gonna have 10 episodes of Josephine and Clark? I kind of doubt that.
I feel like that's a great way to lose people. Because, I mean, yeah, people watch the show for Eliza Taylor, but people really watch the show for Clark. Something that we had thought about that wasn't depicted was the idea of fighting your own demons and fighting them, you know, in her head.
Yeah, being trapped in there.
With the version of herself.
I'm also beginning to wonder if Clark is even in that body at all, or if she's just like in the database now. You know what I mean? Because like,
they said they were killing her, like wiping her mind, but not harming her brain.
Yeah, so I'm like, maybe her mind, because I think the idea is only one mind can be it. I'm not clear if it's that Josephine's mind takes control and hers is like put in a box, or if it's literally taken out and put into like a database.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what their version of a mind wipe is. But
I have a feeling now that she's not even in her body.
Okay.
And I think the same thing is going to be true of Gabriel, maybe, but I'm a little unclear on that.
So that's a great question to have.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that you were saying that I'm agreeing with your point of view on, as opposed to my own point of view, is I do think Gabriel leaving is a more recent thing. I think that he did go along for quite a while with, you know, naming day, and he has been immortal-ish, right? And now he's like actually, well, okay, so recently is a relative term,
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say recently, so not meaning like
now he's like now he's an old man, but that still means he probably had at least a few generations of going into other bodies.
I think that too, because 236 years is still like far beyond a human lifespan.
So he had at least, you know, 2 or 3 other bodies probably.
I think so.
Before he decided, fuck this shit, this is too far.
And now he might be like, if he was implanted, so they said 21 is the youngest age that you can be.
Makes sense.
A host.
Yeah, your brain's ready.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's say like Gabriel is 21 and then he's immediately like, forget it, I rebel. And then he could have, and being a really old man, but still kind of capable of doing things, but the mystery is whether or not he's still alive. Yeah. I would say that's another like 60 to 80 years, so he could be anywhere from like 80 to 100.
I think at most it's 60.
Yeah.
So he must have left 60 years ago.
Right.
Ish.
So
give or take. We talked last week about how Josephine died from a fall, and I said, was that suicide? Did she not want to be in the body? Well, seems like Josephine's okay with it, which seems weird to me.
I don't know. We were very much like, ooh, she's great. And I'm like, well, we saw a kind of impulsive, arrogant person. And I'm like, but
she seemed like a nice person, a normal person. I mean, I don't know.
Corruption.
Yeah.
Your dad invents this technology. Again, maybe that's something that got corrupted.
But so then the question becomes, did she fall by accident?
Did her host fall?
Or did someone else attack her, like a child of Gabriel or something?
Maybe.
I don't know. It's a good question.
It's a good
question. My wondering about this is, is this too black and white now as far as like children of Gabriel just like are the good guys?
They're not really behaving like good guys.
I guess that's true. I mean, they wanted to kill the host, but I mean, so there was the one guy with Xavier was the one person who was like, let's not
sympathetic-ish.
Yeah.
To Octavia and Rose.
He was the Lincoln.
Yeah.
And
I would stay away from that.
Yeah. But I did not.
He is.
Yeah. Yeah, we got new Lincoln and new Wick this episode.
Oh, God.
They were only gonna kill, people who, like, Octavia had already murdered a bunch of them, right? Like, so...
But they were gonna
kill a child.
They were gonna kill a small child.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
And Octavia for not giving them information.
Yeah.
And they tortured her.
Yeah. Not only were they going to, they did kill a small child. Yeah, okay, that's not great, obviously, but they're also not killing they're killing specifically for a specific purpose of trying to end this Prime thing. But, okay, so they're sort of gray area. I still feel like right now it feels like we are back in Mount Weather. We have mad scientists doing these things that, like, you kind of understand for them, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that they're not, like, evil as fuck. Like, I mean, on the one hand, that scene was really creepy and awesome with her being paralyzed and trying to deal with it. On the other hand, I'm like, man, they're fucking evil.
I mean, I have to give credit where it's due to Russell.
Yeah.
Like, that's a great performance.
Yeah.
He's like, I feel bad for him and Simone not having their daughter.
Yeah.
A little bit bad. But then, Josephine shows up and it's like, I could work with this. And I'm like, all right, I don't like you. You're the girls I hated in high school.
I mean, to be fair, waking up in that body wouldn't be a sad thing.
Yeah, you're right. I don't blame her. Take it out for a test run. No.
Anyway,
all right, here's a few other...
Speaking of taking it out, Clark hooked up.
Oh, okay. Not where I was going to go with it. Yeah, hooked up with a spy who hooked up with her to use her and kidnap her.
Yeah, it's interesting. Again, you're right. The children of Gabriel definitely are gray area because he still was paralyzing and kidnapping her against her will.
Yeah.
So it's not like he was like sitting her down to explain what's going on and then like
telling her, here's everything that we've learned.
Yeah.
Or like why we hate the Primes.
Yeah.
Here's what you can do we know you're capable of murder, of fighting, like help us.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm taking you away.
Speaking of murder and fighting, how do you feel about the new power duo of Octavia and Dioza?
Oh, yes. Two sides of the same...
weird shit.
I was going to say murderous coin, but yeah, sure. I just, like, enemies become partners in crime.
It's classic.
It is.
And they're really good.
They're really freaky ladies. And it's
really
great. One of them's pregnant. One of them is a former blood queen cannibal. Like, what more could we ask for?
A pregnant terrorist and a cannibal queen. This stuff can't write itself. Somebody has to write it.
I don't know. I feel like it's one of those, like, random word generators. And they're like, all right, what are some of the best plot elements from like sci-fi, fantasy?
It worked out very well for them.
Here you go.
Yeah, that was great. I love all that stuff.
So good.
Meanwhile, we have Delilah being wiped, which again, we saw coming, but it doesn't stop it from being freaky.
Yeah, when she's all like, I'm an adult woman now, and her son is like older than her.
Yeah.
But I bet Jordan thinks that it's her boyfriend. He's her boyfriend or something.
Well, it was great that you called as soon as that guy mentioned his mother and the bike and everything. You're like, oh, Priya must be his mother.
Well, they showed a photo of his workbench, when Raven was at his workbench, workstation, there were all these drawings, and then there was a pin. They took the time to show a photograph of a mother and son, and it's the same woman who was on the motorcycle in the tavern that Raven saw earlier and led to the workshop or whatever conversation with Delilah's mom. Yeah. So it's the same woman. She looks slightly different, so I wasn't 100% but between the motorcycle and the guy being like, it's my mom's, it's for my mom. Yeah. I was like, yeah, this is her son.
Yeah. I thought he was a fun introduction. I liked him, even joking about the Wick stuff aside. Frickin' Raven cannot catch a break. Which I don't know.
What do you define as her not catching a break?
Well, that he's one of the evil royal family.
Well, if anything, he seemed resistant to having to go there. He wasn't like, he
still has accepted it for 7 generations. So you can't be that great.
More importantly, how can we not take this as Raven flirting or being flirted with.
Well,
or another setup for Raven relationship-wise.
Yeah.
Minutes after Shaw's death.
I feel like they were written to kind of a difficult corner by Shaw, the actor, needing to leave. Because I think that they wanted her to be happy and to have a good romantic plotline this season, right? And I think they tried to make that happen by having it be like, oh, Shaw wanted you to be happy, so maybe you should...
So move on quickly.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, to a certain degree, like, does anybody want to see her just be upset all season? I don't want that again.
No. I want her to make peace and want to rescue Clark and be a badass.
And I think we'll get there, too.
I know, but having another episode where she yells at Clark and then...
No, that was definitely frustrating.
Like, flirts with a guy or flirtation takes place. It's just...
Yeah. To be fair, I don't know how much she flirted as much as she, like... Because the thing is, while we were watching the episode, I thought they might actually hook up. And then it would just be like a one night, like she'd break down.
Right.
You know, like...
That would... Honestly, I think I would... like to see that it's a subversion of a love plot line of being like, oh, look at her moving on already, and then her being like, I can't force myself to move on, but I'm gonna try, but I'm gonna let myself process, and that way we as viewers don't really have to hear it.
Yeah. On the flip side, they did already do exactly that kind of thing when she slept with Bellamy in season 1, or yeah, I think that was season 1. So,
But then they keep sticking her with mediocre dudes. No offense.
I think this dude was pretty cool. So
I don't know. He was really hot.
Yeah, he's a tasty dish. All these royal bloodlines.
Nightblood does good for people.
Does good for the body.
Yeah. Nightblood and cryo do the body good. Oh my god.
So why don't we end out by talking very quickly about the Bellamy and Echo stuff.
You read my mind.
Yeah.
Are you in here? Oh my god.
No, mine can only exist in one place at a time, Olga.
Right.
God.
I wasn't listening to Gaia, much like Maddie.
So, what was your feelings? Obviously, the Bellamy Echo stuff, quite contentious amongst the
Considering
community.
They did a little bit of Clark and Bellamy being very... simpatico.
But also, so
this episode
must be very frustrating for people, because on the one hand, it was a great scene where they like actually talked about their feelings.
Really good.
And he like was even like, oh, Clark or whatever. But on the flip side, she did say like, you're my family, and you could see that be like, oh, see, they're brother and sister, just like people said. And so that should be frustrating for people. It was a great scene, though.
It was a great scene. Also, it must be frustrating for some of those people who are like, oh my god, Clark, Bellamy and Echo are totally about to break up.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
I understand. Those people might be a little frustrated.
Yeah.
I am not that frustrated.
I'm in a weird state with this whole Bellamy Echo thing. Ultimately, I don't care about them as a couple. I am not invested. I don't want them to keep. I don't want them to keep trying to get me invested, because I don't care. I really don't. And her backstory, okay, interesting.
Her talking about her backstory and us getting her pulling her walls down a bit. He thought she knew nothing or remembered nothing of her family. So this is her actually like taking a huge step of revealing herself.
On the flip side, I found it ridiculous, to be honest, that they worked together for 6 years and that she just randomly decided to bring it up now. Like, I mean, it's not random, it's sort of set up, but like, I'm sure they've experienced multiple fights and things like this before where he's called her cold. I guess the idea is supposed to be she was never cold on the ring and now she's back to being cold.
I think it's this thing of like, they worked through it together, taking things apart piece by piece, and she let herself believe she got there, but even then she kept part of her walls in place, which is realistic enough.
Yeah, I just don't know that I believe that he literally didn't even tell him about her family.
I'm sorry, I believe it. I believe it.
6 years?
Yeah.
You're not a nice girlfriend. Don't you do that to me, Olga.
I
want to know what happened to your dead family.
What do you know that I don't?
I don't know. I mean, I understand people will keep up walls and all that jazz, but it felt weird to me that it just felt, I guess what it felt is convenient. It's like, oh, now that we're finally watching them.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I don't dispute that. I don't dispute that it's very convenient.
Yeah.
But given the fact that we we know that we're going to get more information and more openness from Echo. And given the fact that we were never given the 6 years of On the Ring, it's going to happen on camera. It's going to happen much later than it should have.
I still
but
think
it's
there
better
are better
late
ways.
than never.
I still think there are better ways to bring it up, though, because you could have had her, like, a lot of that could have been done in flashback, honestly, like a scene. And that could have been a really powerful scene. And then, like, you could have had something that set her off and, like, triggered her about her past or whatever. And Bellamy's like, oh, I know. Like, make it clear that he already knows about it, even if the audience is learning about it through a different way. Like, I think
we're still going to get that with other things. All right, I might change my mind about how it was handled on rewatch. But to me, I think it was well done of, like, people saying we're not getting a lot of Echo time. And reasoning, well, it's because she's putting her walls up and not... and not showing her emotions. And even Bellamy feels that way because as viewers, we were feeling that way too of like, well, Echo's not really doing much, not feeling much. She spent time with Monty and Harper as well. And she's not saying...
I don't feel the way you're saying. Actually, when he was saying to me, it felt out of nowhere. When he's like, you're being unfeeling. Why don't you care about Monty and... blah, blah, blah. Like, nobody else is talking about Monty and Harper right now. It's not like people are crying about Monty and Harper. And I feel like we just haven't seen her. All we've seen her is trying to comfort him. So him just telling us, oh, you're being so unfeeling felt kind of weird to me.
I don't disagree with you. But for me, it's like, okay, we haven't had much screen time for Echo. What has been going on with her and Bellamy? And... they're not showing, they're telling us that she's being very reserved. And that means that she's like regressing to her spy, don't show emotion ways in times of trouble and danger. And Bellamy's like, that's gonna break us apart. And she's like, okay, I don't want to lose you. Here's everything that I'm like forcing myself to come to terms with.
And I mean, look, to be clear, I don't think it was like a disaster or a plot line. Like there was good stuff in there. And I think what it comes down to is I know this is kind of a ridiculous thing to ask, but part of me is like, can they just tell us if Bellamy and Echo are actually a long-term thing? And if they really are just never planning on doing Clark and Bellamy. Because, like, if they told me that, I'd go, okay, I think that's a bad decision, but I'll try to get on board with Bellamy and Echo. Because apparently they're legitimate. But because right now, I'm just like, it just feels like Karen from The Office. Why would I get invested in this if I don't believe that it's going to last?
I'm invested in Echo as a character. I'm not invested in Becco as a ship. So, and as a couple. So, I mean, clearly we are fans. We love you, Tassia.
No, and I think her monologue that she gave was very really well done. Again, it's the issue that I have where it's like everything about Echo now is now tied to Bellamy and this coupling that I just don't believe in.
I still think that that's a mistake. But at this point, I'm like,
it is.
Screw the context. I'll take it. Cool. Emotional development. And we'll see everything else that happens. We'll see.
We will see.
That's something we don't have a prediction for.
What happens next? All right. Let us know what you think happens next in the comments below. Or, I never actually said that this is a video and an audio podcast. So this is a video. If you got to this point. We just
jumped right in because we were so happy about being right.
So this is a video on youtube.com/doingokay. And it's an audio podcast that goes up on audio podcast services, which you can check out all of our options on the100podcast.com. There's a subscribe page right there. You see all the different Spotifys, SoundClouds, Apple Pods, all that stuff. And we do on Sundays by 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have our longer review podcast where we read feedback from fans.
Your feedback.
Yeah. And you can do that. I'm sorry, guys. Commenting in the YouTube video or sending us an email at the100pod@gmail.com. Tweet at us at the100podcast. All those fun things. Thank you guys so much for watching.
May we meet again.
May we meet again.
Did you forget again?
I really always want to say, and I hope you're doing okay.
And I hope
I got on track with that.
You're doing okay.
And I hope we meet again. Please.